All right, today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to have some channel updates, we're going to do some gear reviews, and most importantly, we're going to talk about upcoming classes and events that I'm involved in. So let's get to it. So last week we had our first modern skills survival course with Buckeye Bushcraft, and it went well. Everything starts out small. A lot of positive feedback, and since then we've had about 12 students sign up for May and April's classes. And May, I think, is almost full, or it was full, and we added more slots to that, so that's pretty cool. What you just seen in that backpack is the gear list for that class. I've taken my experiences at different places, different areas of the country, different schools, military as well, and cut out all the BS and combined it into a day bag that's less than 10 pounds. And I've done that, well, 10 pounds without having your food and medications and extra things that you believe you need. Just the gear itself is around 10 pounds with the backpack. And I did that for several reasons, because a true day hike gone wrong, you're only going to have those items that you bring with you on your person or in that bag, okay? And that's what this modern skills survival course is about. It's not about collecting off the landscape and running through the woods like Rambo and hacking down trees and doing all this other crazy stuff. It's about utilizing the gear in your backpack because you brought that gear. And hopefully in 3 days, you're rescued. So with that, let's go ahead and dive into this gear and see what we have. Before we get too far down the trail, let's go ahead and give a quick channel update. Last week's video was titled Solo Overnight, Camping in a Prehistoric Cave. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Here's the thumbnail right here. We went to a new property, new location, new footage, and we toured that property, found an old prehistoric cave, cleaned it out, slept in it, made some chow, and had a good time. First thing for this modern skills survival course and for a day hike in general is you want a sturdy backpack. This one right here was made around 2002, 2003, and it is very rare and hard to come by nowadays in this color. We have our Mulvey Tube Patrol Pack, and it's got the date right there. It says 2001. And these are expensive. If you're lucky, you can find one with a couple holes in it that you can sew back up for around $60. I've seen these go for around $250. It's around a 20-liter pack, and honestly, for a day hike, that's all you're going to need. And you're going to see all this gear fit inside this 20-liter pack with room to spare for snacky snacks, medicines, things like that, or extra gear that you think you might need, like socks. So, yeah, 20-liter backpack that's sewn together well, that will hold up, and you should be in business. The first thing on this list here is a knife, and I'm not going to tell you it has to be a full tang knife. Full tang means the blade passes all the way through the handle and sticks out here, or is flush with the handle at the end, like this one right here. We have the Mora Garberg, and it runs for around $89. There's a smaller version of this that has a 3/4 tang, meaning the blade stops about right here, and that's called the Mora Bushcraft Black. And I've seen those go for around $39. I don't care what knife you bring to my school, because you are choosing to bring a knife that either A, works for you, or that you want to try out. And part of that class is to see what works and what doesn't. And most of my students to date will tell you that all the tasks that they accomplished was done with a pocket knife. And in my opinion, a basic style class or a day hike, that's exactly what you should be going for. Everything should be able to be done using a pocket knife. Why? Because most people, unless you live in strict states, carry a pocket knife. Most don't walk around with a knife on their hip, especially in strict states, because they're going to have questions asked or someone's going to call the police and things like that. But if you have a pocket knife, 99.999% of people don't even know you have it. Like I've already stated, in my opinion, in a basic type of class or this modern skill survival course, the majority, or if not all, of the tasks that you need to do that require a knife can be done using a pocket knife. And in my opinion, the pocket knife should be something that resembles this Victorinox Ranger Grip 79. You have almost a 3-inch blade right here. You also have a folding saw. The folding saw will actually cut down branches that are 2 inches in diameter. And once again, in my opinion, if you're making some type of shelter for yourself for the night in a basic class, you're doing something quick, something fast, and it should not require anything larger than 2-inch diameter poles. And again, you have a saw right here that will accomplish that. Everything else on here, screwdrivers, you're not going to need in the woods. You have tweezers on here, you have a toothpick, you have an awl, and you have another Phillips head screwdriver here in the back. Good investment. I mean, they're around $79, and it fits in your pocket. And like we've already talked about, the best part is most people in every single state you go to in this country will have no idea you're carrying a pocket knife. So the next thing on the list here is fire starting. And for this class, you're going to want a Bic lighter, okay, and a 6-inch in length by 1/2-inch diameter ferrocerium rod. This thing right here just rains down sparks and will give you 10,000 plus strikes. It works in the rain, in the snow, rain or shine, windy environments. You're always going to get that spark at X amount of thousands of degrees. Now the Bic lighter, there's a lot of controversy. People complain and say, oh, it won't work under 30 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, you put it in your armpit or in your pocket or in your hand for about 30 seconds and it works just fine. It also has a miniature ferro rod inside here as well that will give you spark, that will light char cloth or char material. It gives you a lot more options with a Bic lighter than other types of lighters. It will also float in the water, and we demoed that on my channel several times. So 2 fire starting devices. You technically have 3 with your compass, and we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. The Victorinox Ranger Grip 79, and using that saw, placing it back here towards the base of that saw, you can get all the spark that you're ever going to need. This is number 36 tarred bank line. Down south, they use this for trot line to catch catfish. It has a break strength around 380 pounds, 380 plus pounds, and the number system, the higher the numbers, the thicker it's going to be. So this is number 36, there's number 40, I've seen like 44, there's even a 70, things like that. Now on the gear list for the Modern Skills Survival course, they want you to bring paracord and bank line. When I build a kit, I look at the items in that kit. And everything in that kit, I want to use it for one or more things. If I'm only using paracord for, let's say, a ridge line, why can't I just make the ridge line out of bank line and eliminate carrying that altogether? That's where I go in my head when I build a kit. Now, on the Modern Skills Survival course classroom gear list, they want you to bring paracord and bank line so we can show you the difference and actually have you use it and experiment with it and see which one you like. And we'll use them both together for some kind of project later on. But for me, if I'm going to bring one type of cordage and save space, it's going to be a roll of this. This right here, I think, is around 1,000 plus feet. And you can actually get a small 100-yard roll, and it saves space as well. Again, think of the intent. Everything you do has to have intent. If I don't intend to go out there for weeks on end, I don't need all this. I need something small. Keep it lightweight so I can move quickly, get a shelter up in seconds. Moving right along here, I want some type of 32-ounce bottle. Now this is stainless steel, it's a wide mouth bottle. This is my own personal cup and bottle set. It can be a clean canteen, it could be Nalgene, it could be some other off-brand. I don't care what you bring, I don't care what you have. It's whatever works for you. And I'm going to go on a limb here and say, this container can also be a plastic bottle. You can bring plastic bottles out to the woods. It's been done for a long time. And I want to say around 2012, 2013-ish, most companies started making a stainless steel version of what they already had. An example of that is Nalgene. Nalgene didn't have a stainless steel bottle for a long time. They had plastic bottles. But what did they have? They also had a nesting cup of stainless steel. Okay, So as long as you have a plastic bottle with a stainless steel container, so you can boil water and put it into that container, it's not a problem. It's just easier to have 2 stainless steel containers, because now I can boil this and drink it. I can actually boil this and let it sit over here and cool off. So I'm always switching one in and out, have one being made and one ready to go, versus having a plastic container, pour water into it, let it cool down, and then go from there. So pick your poison, but you can bring plastic bottles to the woods as long as you have a metal container. All right, so moving right along to our headlamp here, and this is in no particular order, it's just whatever I'm grabbing off the ground. I have the Lead Lenser MH8. I fell in love with this about 6 years ago. It has the ability to be recharged as well as take regular batteries. So that brings me to my next point. If you're bringing a headlamp out here, which is perfect, allows you to be hands-free. I can also take it, wrap it around a tree, and do work over here, keep it on my head, do work right in front of me. And has the ability to make a wide beam become a strobe or a small spotlight by turning this little knob right here in the front where the light is. We have 3 different settings on here as well, and a red lens option as well on that for night vision. Now, whatever your intent is, once again we come back to intent, ensure that you have spare batteries. If your intent is to bring a flashlight, if you choose to do that, bring it. But have the ability to recharge that flashlight or headlamp, or swap out batteries. Now, if you want to recharge, we're going down the road of bringing some type of power bank with you, which means what? More weight. So think of the intent. Do I intend to recharge or pop in 2 AAAs? Pick your poison. The true purpose of a compass is to walk a straight line. That's all it's for. If you knew nothing about a compass, nothing about a map, couldn't read the terrain, had no idea where you were, but you could simply take your index finger and thumb and turn the dial at the top to, let's say, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. You want to walk west. If you simply turned it to west, where it lines up with a tick mark right there, and you were able to walk west, at some point in the United States, you're going to run into a road or somebody. It might take days, it might take weeks, but as long as you just kept walking in one direction versus walking in circles or back and forth, crisscrossing, you're going to come upon somebody, a structure, a road, possibly, most likely a road, and hopefully be able to be rescued. And that's why I suggest everybody carry one. I also suggest you get training with one, but as long as you have one and you know how to walk a straight line, at some point you're probably going to be found. Now, the Modern Skills Survival course, we go in depth on how to use a compass, and you run a couple land nav courses. And this last class that we did, every single student got 100%. So I'm very proud of everybody. It also reinforces that I have the ability to teach you something in 30 minutes or less, and then you can go out there and actually demonstrate it and be proficient at it. So now that we hit springtime, the evenings are around 50 degrees where I live at. There's no need for a wool blanket at that point. You got a nice little fire going. You can be comfortable with some type of poncho liner, Helicon Swagman roll, something light and packable. And that's where I want to go with this next 2 items right here. This right here is a poncho liner inside of a stuff sack. And we have a military spec poncho inside of a carrying case as well. Both of these are sold either separately or together from USGI Industries. And I've searched high and low and tried to find an equivalent to a military poncho system. Helicon Tex does a good job, but their ponchos are actually a little bit shorter than the military ones. And by military, I mean the ones from, say, the late 90s, early 2000s. Now, this company here, the only difference is they're a little bit lighter in color. That's the poncho right there. But it is exact same size, and it is sewn and made to the exact specs of the military. Poncho liner fits right inside the stuff sack. And again, it's a little bit lighter, but it's the exact same size. You can combine the two and create a lightweight sleeping bag, or use them independently. And what I like the most is, since the poncho is the same size as the military ones, you can place it over your body and over your backpack, and it still hangs off low enough to repel or shed that water. Once again, we're thinking about intent. The next item here actually goes along with what we just showed you. It shows you a poncho and a poncho liner. The poncho itself can be worn over your body to keep you dry. It can be tossed over your gear over a wood pile. You could actually use that to make a shelter, either an A-frame, a plow point, or a lean-to configuration, and sleep underneath it. But most importantly, it gives you an option of a secondary tarp, okay, which moves us into a tarp. The intent, we're on a day hike. We're not staying out there for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. If we have to, we want something rugged and durable enough to where we can put it up in different configurations to block the sun or block the wind or keep the rain off of us. And that's where we come to this 5x7 Arcturus tarp, okay? It fits inside this bag right here, and it's OD green, there's orange, there's blue, there's red, and these tarps right here have a reflective surface on the inside. So does the bag. So that's what it looks like right here. So it can actually bump the heat off of you. And we're not absorbing the heat, we're not trapping the heat, we're reflecting the heat. And that's where that comes from. And along with our tarp system, we want to bring 4 to 6 plastic stakes, ABS type, and here's the reason why. Not only do they work on your shelter, they can be used to start a fire in a dire emergency as well. It will take open flame as well as sparks from a ferrocerium rod. So that stake right there is going to burn for several minutes. It's going to burn in the wind as well, possibly even the rain. It's going to burn for probably up to 10 minutes, which is going to give you that extra bump in time to try to dry out marginal or damp tinder or even small twigs and actually get the fire going. Once again, a dire emergency, you have an option right there in your kit to guarantee a fire. Next item here is Gorilla brand duct tape. It's a 1-inch roll. Why a 1-inch roll? Because it saves space. You can repair gear. You can do medical things with this, as far as making like butterfly bandages. My famous thing is rolling this up into a small little cigar shape, lighting one end of it, and it will burn for 10 minutes. So you get another fire starter or emergency fire starter in your kit, carrying it with you. But here's the reality of this tape. I've used it for several years now, and I was told it was the best. If there's any dust or light dirt or water or any type of cold environment where there's frost, the tape peels right off. It just falls right off. So I'm currently looking for something else, another alternative to this in a 1-inch roll, and it's hard to find. It's really hard to find. The military tape actually almost works better, but it's in a 2-inch roll, and so that sucks. So any suggestions or ideas, hit me up and let me know. Moving right along on that list, we have a 3x3 cotton bandana or shemagh, and these things have 100 uses, probably 1,000,000 uses. We're not going to go into all of them. For me, the 2 things I use this for is to put it over my bottle as I place it into a stream to collect water. It will keep all the large floaters and debris out of my container so I can boil it and disinfect it. But mostly I use this for land navigation as a waypoint. I can hang it from a tree. It's a temporary stopping point. I can walk in a 360-degree radius. As long as I can turn around and see this, I can walk right back to it, get my compass back out, and continue walking that straight line. It's a time saver if you want to collect resources, water, or even do a number 1 or a number 2 in the woods. You can wander away and come back to that imaginary straight line with your compass, and you're never going to get lost or deviate from that straight line. So it's a waypoint marker. But this is on that list, and we go into in-depth in the class on various options or uses for this item. Now, last thing on there, other than your personal medications or food, snacks that you want to bring, is some type of note-taking gear. This is a Write in the Rain notebook, along with a Write in the Rain carrying case. There's a pencil in here. I have space in the back for protractors and extra notes and things like that. I highly suggest you carry something like this. So you're out in the woods, you can keep it as a journal. I found this here. Oh, look, I found that over there. Worst case, if death is holding your hand and you're going to die, you can actually write notes to loved ones. But honestly, having something like this, it keeps your mind occupied. And when you're out there and you find different things, it's kind of cool to write them down. That way you can get, different azimuths, and you can always come back to them later. For sake of argument, we have my knife on my body, along with my pocket knife and my Bic lighter. Everything else we're going to put in this pack, and I'm going to show you that you still have room left over in a 20-liter pack with this simple, light gear setup, or gear loadout. Like we said, simple and effective, 10 to 15 pounds for a day hike. And if you're stranded, you're simply inconveniently camping, and you can't go wrong. Now, for those that are going to be a student in the Modern Skill Survival courses for April and May, or for those individuals that want to carry the gear that I carry, and I'm going to be carrying in my future videos, go to my video description box, to my Amazon affiliate page, click on it, and you're going to see right there, it's going to say Modern Skill Survival Course Gear. Click on that bad boy and get her done. Check this out. We have 400 cup and bottle sets. We're going to drop 50 to 75 a week. We just dropped 50 this week. They were gone in like an hour and a half. I'm dropping 50 more right now. Go to my video description box, click on my Etsy link or my Etsy store, and you're going to see the Corporals Corner logoed cup and bottle sets, and get her done. Guarantee you they're going to go fast. I'm predicting 30 minutes. So once again, my video description box and my Etsy link, click it and enjoy. All right, send this bad boy off. With that, all the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. 1, my Amazon affiliate page, and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my description box. Now, please do me that favor. Hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. And as always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.